Hello and welcome to the National Michael Chekhov Association's Characterization the NMCA Way, On Your Feet and Insights. I am Lisa Dalton, one of the co-founders of the organization, and I am here with my colleague.
Hi there, I'm Wil Kilroy, and I'm a co-founder and the vice president of the National Michael Chekhov Association, and we're so glad you've joined us for characterization, and I'm going to jump right in to give you a little something to try. So what I'd like you to do while you're sitting or standing there is in your head, see if you can solve this basic algebraic equation for me, which is x times y minus 7 equals 767 plus 2. So mull that over and see if you can give me what the x and the y would be. So x and the y are multiplied, minus 7, and it equals 767 plus 2. So just in your head, so you don't want to write it out, but you're just trying to see if you can solve that for me. And then be aware of the energy in your body. Where is that energy now focused? Where is it going? Who do you determine that energy to be? And forget it. We don't need to know that answer. Let it go, let it go, let it go. All right, now what I'd like you to do is to bring into yourself an awareness of something that you love. It could be a person, it could be nature, it could be a pet, something that you love, you really love, and start to imagine all of the attributes of that person, place, pet, whatever it is. So just bringing to yourself all of the attributes. And as you're in that love space, being aware of your energy. Where does your energy tend to focus as you bring in this image of this item or person that you love? Where's your energy focused now? Just be aware of it. Let your imagination be free. And you can let that go. Have that for later. All right, now what I'd like you to do is to imagine a need that you have. You need to accomplish something. So don't leave us, but what if you did? What if you got up right now? What would it be that you would do? There's something you need to accomplish. You need to get it done. Maybe we even look around and see something in your environment that you need to clean or change or move. And when you're feeling that need, where does the energy in your body go? Where does it end up? So just bringing that need in, imagining you're going to get up and go do it. You can get up for a moment and stay within camera range, but just experiencing that need and where is your energy now? Where is that energy? And you don't really need to do that right now, so let that go. And we're going to move right on to Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, so Will took us through all three of those different forces. We're going to focus in this activity on one of them, the thinking forces. When we think about the thinking forces, they're right here in the head. And so we're going to take a character that really uses that as their motivation, their drive. Everybody take a second to connect to your ideal artistic center. Look up into that image sphere way above and grab the character of the Tin Woodsman from The Wizard of Oz. Beam that Tin Woodsman down into your body. Now the Tin Woodsman has no heart, so he relies on his thinking forces. What I want you to do is I want you to imagine your full body is the Tin Woodsman and you are rusted. So get into some kind of position where you would be rusted solid. What we're going to do is slowly but surely, we're going to begin to move as if we were oiled parts of our body. Start with your feet and let's get those feet oiled and start moving them. It's probably a mechanical back and forth feeling. Move that up your legs and into your hips. And oil those arms right at the joints so you can feel those arms being able to move. And go to the neck. Move that neck around. Finally, we can move and begin to explore the space around you moving in this kind of mechanical or robotic way? What's one action that you could probably do, like pick up a book or write something down? Continue exploring the space with these mechanical movements and see how that affects your breath. Are you moving on the floor in a linear fashion or diagonals? Let's bring that back now and bring yourself back to your camera, and let's go ahead and release that feeling of thinking force and robot and tin woodsman, and let that fly back up into that sphere of images. Shake it off, and I'm going to pass it over to Paul.
Great. I am going to share my screen. Hopefully this will work. You can all see this?
Yes.
I am going to stay with the thinking life as well. That's what I was thinking about. And I'm going to think about adding a little bit of a quality to it, to the thinking life. Obviously, we have the thinking, feeling, willing life, our inner landscape. So I just want you to think about that place where Wil was talking about, that place where you were doing that equation in your head and what's going on inside of there. If you would like to, you could use your fingertip, which is also connected to the thinking life. And I want you to just, whatever spiritedly is to you, don't get into right or wrong, whatever that quality is to you, you're going to think spiritedly, and you're going to say the words, you know, I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking that you're not thinking right about this. Whatever that is to you, don't think about it, just let it go. Just thinking spiritedly, and just say those words, everybody at the same time. You know, I've been thinking about it.
I'm thinking that you're not thinking right about this. I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking that you're not thinking right about this.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. Thinking that you're not thinking right about this.
Good, good. And just let that kind of go. We're going to still stay up in that area. Now we're going to think ponderingly. And whatever that ponderingly means to you, that quality means to you, you're thinking, it starts to become ponderingly.
I've been thinking about it.
I've been thinking about
I'm
it.
thinking
And
you're not thinking right.
You're not thinking right about this.
I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking you're not thinking right about this.
About it, but I'm thinking you're not thinking right about it.
Awesome, awesome. Again, we're just going to move to the next one, kind of let that wash away. And now we're going to just enter our thinking life, make it cleverly. What is thinking cleverly to you?
I've been thinking about it.
Been thinking about it.
And
I've been thinking about it,
you're not.
and I'm thinking that you're not thinking right about this.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking you're not thinking right about this.
And I'm thinking that you're not thinking right about this.
Awesome, that was awesome. And just kind of let that go. And I'm going to pass it on to Ophir.
Let's imagine our brains, our mind. Just see it. Take a few seconds. You can close your eyes and see your brain. And now the brain starts swirling and swirling and swirling, and it becomes like a vortex inside your head. And the vortex has a down motion. And just imagine this vortex inside your head. And just let it be there and breathe with it. And start counting and talk from this sensation. Count till 10. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3, 4, 5,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
9,
9, 10.
and let this vortex becomes more wild and faster. See it, imagine it. It's happening. It's a sensation. And now talk from it. Talk from it. Talk.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'm crazy.
1, 2,
Who's
3,
next?
4, I don't, 5. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And we can let it go and throw it away. And I will pass it to Joanne.
So I'm going to hand it to Brad.
One of the things that's the most interesting to try to figure out is the difference between these things, the difference between how these things feel, how they are part of my body. And one of the best ways to embrace this notion of differentiating between them is to visualize it as best you can. And a great way to begin to visualize it is to think about an insect crawling on your hand, on your body. And if the insect is here, the feeling that you have of it right here is the insect. It's the feeling force. This is the feeling force. And if the insect crawls out onto my finger, where strangely enough, we don't have as much sensitivity, I still know it's there, but I don't have the same feeling. And as soon as it crawls up onto the tender skin of my arm, that becomes the will force. That becomes the heel of my hand. So the feeling of the insect on my body, it puts it on the external, it allows me to visualize the feelings of these different forces, the thinking force, the feeling force, and the willing force. And visualize how I can incorporate them into my physicality.
So I'm going to focus on the feeling. And what I want you to do is envision a pet or animal in your life that you've loved. And while you do that, I want you to make curvy gestures with your body. Now, I want you to think how you feel or how you felt when you lose this pet and the pet is no longer with you. And think about, don't think, but feel it, where it is in your body and how it affects your voice and your feelings, and experience whatever it is that you would experience. And have that affect your dialogue and your speech, and just say, well, I don't know, let me think about what I'm going to do today, and then make your plans for the day, even though you've just lost your favorite pet.
Let me think about what I'm going to do today.
I don't know. Figure out what to do today. I'm not sure.
I'm not doing anything today. I'm not doing anything.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know.
So take a deep breath and release it.
Okay, very lovely. What I'd like you to do now is we're going to play a little bit with the will force. So I would like you to imagine that you are seated, and you might actually be seated, but that you have to go to the bathroom. But you can't get up but you want to get up and it's getting urgent. You notice your heels. The heels, what are your heels doing? What are the heels of your hands doing? What is the bottom of your torso doing? What is your jaw doing? So you've got to try and hold this together. But you have a very urgent urge. Can you feel all those urges? Can you feel where they're living in the body? And imagine now that you're wanting to mask that so that no one knows, and your line of dialogue and a behavior. So I'd like you to do a behavior where you're attempting to veil or hide it. I'd like you to do a behavior where you pick up a pen or pencil or a beverage and say, are you almost finished? Is your line. Are you almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are you almost
Are
finished?
you almost finished?
You
Are you
almost finished.
almost finished?
You almost finished.
Are you almost finished?
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 Good. And now release it. And just think for a moment. We'll review for a moment some of the key areas. The will force tends to be on the bottom of things, and the jaw, in the thumb, and the heel of the hand, like we've spoken, the heel of the torso, you could say, the heel of the foot, and the limbs, and the lower, below the gut, down, and the limbs. So we tend to work with earthy elements with it, and we tend to work with the guttural, the sounds that come off the bottom of the jaw, g, d, r, j. And so let's just take this line now and really veil the urge, but allow yourself to do the same line and just punch up the the will-driven sounds, so you can feel the sounds with the same business, same line. Are you almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are you
Almost.
almost
Are you
finished?
almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are
Good.
you almost finished?
Good. And now release that will force and imagine that you were able to accomplish that task of relieving yourself, and you're in the feeling force. And you're going to say the same line. Now you have a great feeling of relief, and allow yourself to change. How does that allow the vowels to come forward, allow the movement pattern to shift, and shifting into that middle, curves, round, stuff like that, and try that.
Are you almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are you almost finished?
Are you almost
finished?
Are you almost finished?
Good, and release that, and let's do the thinking for us, and let's add a quality like Paul mentioned. It could be one of the ones that Paul mentioned. Remind us of the three that you did, Paul, the qualities of thought.
Let me look really quick. Spiritedly, ponderingly, and cleverly.
Okay, so you can pick one of those three or another one. Same line.
Are you
Are you Almost finished.
Finished?
Almost finished.
Are you almost finished?
Almost.
Are you almost finished?
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone, for taking us through our trinity of psychology. Chekhov on your feet. We are all NMCA alumni, and we have just been improvising and playing with different aspects of thinking, feeling, and willing.
My favorite person is...
One minute on your imaginary bodies.
We took a scene from Golden Boy. We all did the same scene.